Hello, Sigali. Thank you for joining us for this interview. Thank you for spending the time with us to share your experience with the Bedouin students. So first, I would like to hear a bit about tell us a bit something about yourself. First, tell us something about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Sigalit Banai. I teach film in the Sapir College, and I also teach in Tel Aviv University, and I taught at the New York Film Academy in New York. In Sapir College, I teach 5 years already a course of video activism for Bedouin students. Most of them are female students, are women. It's called Camera is Making a Change. And hopefully through this course, they would gain their change ability to change things that are painful for them in their society.
Thank you. I just would like to mention that at least for this year, for this academic year, you will also join the volcanic team.
We
And
are
your
proud
course,
to be supported by Volcanic. That would necessarily help us produce the films and the projects we want to do in the quality that requires to make a change, hopefully, to make a change in society through technology.
thank you. Now, can you share with us your experience in the course? What are you actually doing there?
I teach the students to use their cell phone camera uh, and to film themselves, to film the reality they're living in, and to use it as a tool to express things that they want to change in society. It's not just the Instagram or the TikTok, which they master, but we teach them editing and cinematography in their cell phone cameras, and to write a short essay and to speak in front of the camera and to gain yourself, just to yourself. And also, we use language. They can speak in Hebrew and translate to Arabic or vice versa. So they learn to have a voice, to speak out loud what's on their mind and what's hidden in their hearts. So it's a part of forming your identity through camera that you have in your pocket in a new way.
Can you describe what kind of tasks do you give to your students during the course?
Mm-hmm. The first task is, first of all, I teach them how to use the camera, and they have to, videotape their home, their environment, themselves, like identity card, who am I, through the camera. And then on the first semester, they have to create a short film with narration about something that is painful for them in their society. In class, we associate and we write the narration for it. And then they have to learn how, and I teach them how to speak in front of the camera, um, in Hebrew sometimes or in Arabic, and how to translate themselves. And then they record the narration and they write a script of footage that they want to film and put in that film, in that short film. And in the end of the first semester, we screen it to staff and guests. Sometimes we do it in Zoom if there's a war situation like this year. And sometimes we use the auditorium, and we invite audience. And all of a sudden, the voicing, the presence of themselves on a large screen with people, and then there is a discussion and people hear, and usually people find it very touching because you see these Bedouin students on campus, but you rarely hear them. And even if you hear them, you don't hear what's inside their hearts and what's painful for them. So this is an opportunity to put them on a big screen and to give them a voice. In many
Can
ways,
you
these students are in between I mean, especially now after October 7th, I can share one very painful and very meaningful experience that I had um, after October 7th, when we started the semester very late. We obviously started it in Zoom, and they were much closer to the war zone than I was, but we both heard bombings outside and airplanes, and sometimes we would run for shelter if they had shelter in their homes and me in mine. But the difference was that some of them had families in Gaza. Some of them have a mother that was born in Gaza and married a Bedouin man. But some had family that was among those who were the hostages, among those who were kidnapped. And some had family, had brothers or nephews that served in the Israeli army. And for me, because I speak Arabic, because I teach in the South for already a few years now, and I have also friends on the other sides of the borders, the only time that I could feel I was fully understood during that horrible war was among these students. We could share our thoughts. They would, they were asked many times in class, they were asked, how do you feel? Everybody expressed their feelings, but they couldn't express their real feelings among army reserve soldiers that just came from war or were about to go to war. I mean, the gap was just unbearable. But in my class, because they could speak their language, because they could share everything, they even shared videos that their families from Gaza sent them. And I was just waiting for class. I was waiting for this lesson because when I was running for shelter among my neighbors, even among my closest family, everybody just saw one side. Their hearts didn't have enough ability to hear the other side. And that was very painful for me because I felt people lost their humanity. And the only people that I felt for both sides were these Bedouin students. And the way we could bridge these gaps and see the other side, get a glimpse, was again through their cameras. So that was a very meaningful experience, very powerful experience. And now it turns into films that I'm making in another project that I initiated of films of identity after October 7th, which show both sides of their hearts.
Maybe above this experience, if you can reflect a bit on the advantages that you see with using technology
Of course.
for closing the gap. This is one thing.
Mhm.
And the other, if you can identify from your experience things that, are kind of lacuna, I mean, something that is missing that maybe we can make better in volcanic, something
Mhm.
like we can emphasize or put the light on in volcanic to make it better
Mhm.
for next courses.
First of all, regarding technology, during times of war, during times of peace, technology is intimacy. Technology is human. When we have our cell phone camera, we can really talk to people in our homes from our hearts. This is not like a TV camera with a TV crew of professional people. And also, we tend to get a lot of news from cell phone cameras that people just broadcast. And each one of us can be his or her own reporter. But I believe that through listening to your heart and not just big ideas and hatred or, flags, just sharing your experience can make us better people and bridge gaps. Now, what's missing? First of all, like you saw in that student's film, what's missing is an internet. What's missing is computers. What's missing is knowledge. And what's missing is also the ability to come to campus and to stay with us. And sometimes I feel that it's the last, like for them, it's the last choice to come to gain education And in order to gain your education, especially if you come from these zones and you don't have your home and your study with your computer that you were brought up with, like kids around the Western world, technology is your way for sanity. It's your way for education and to change your lives. So this is why the support of programs like Volcanic can really make it possible. Because if you don't have that, you might be just left aside. And sometimes it's not only technology, sometimes it's just being acknowledged. It's just being heard. And using that tool is not only to study or to be heard, but it's also to hear your own inner voice.